As you can see, the technology and the technical problems always appear during all conferences. So it depends on us how we fight with the technology, because everything depends on our heads, not the technology. Let me start with if you're thinking about the new technology, but I was wondering how to start my speech. What is the freedom for us? How we can develop without freedom? What is the freedom, not only as a freedom of the whole nations globally, but the freedom of our mind? How we can be creative without freedom? How we can build the new ideas without freedom? It is impossible. What else are you wondering? All generation, older, younger generation, always has argued. And we many times repeat from our parents, oh my God, this young generation, it is hopeless. What they can achieve, how they survive. And we heard the same. And the oldest people in this room heard the same, because always parents are carefully thinking about their children. And this is what we sometimes don't believe it is possible to achieve, because we are older, we are smarter, we are more advanced in our thinking, but the world depends on the next generation. The young generation can only move world, move countries, move the smaller societies into the future. Without young generation, it won't be possible. As you saw on the slides of our minister from Bulgaria, he was young. He fight about our freedom. He wants to change our life. And now is the time for us, because only the next generation can change this world. What is your aspiration? What is your ambitions? How you can inspire each other to find the new breakthrough ideas, the new ideas. How old was Alexander the Great when he died, after he conquered almost all the world? 33 years old. Today, we are thinking that he was quite young. It is a huge challenge for all of us. How we want to build the next technology, next generation, based on freedom, and only through the connectivity, not only by roads, rails, but how we connect our mind to build the new ideas which allow us to move and move forward. Do you know this, well, this rather old movie, Apollo 13? You are waving heads, so part of you know this movie. Could you imagine the advanced, very advanced technology that time was less advanced that we have in our mobile phones? And when the Apollo 13 tried to survive and come back on our globe, who supported them? What was the success of the Apollo 13? The small advanced technology, smaller than in our mobile phone? No, the heads, communication, and smartness of people. Everything depends on us. The internet was the biggest game changer in our world. Changed everything. The communication, business, and many, many areas of our lives. It is probably impossible to imagine right now that in one moment the internet disappeared. We are a little afraid when we see it is something happen with our mobile phones. Every single minute we check our mobile phones. It is internet. In 1999, when every single programmer started to think something is wrong with our computers, we were thinking too slowly, short term, because the 2000 appears immediately, and the computers was prepared only for the two-digit in our year. And it was the huge challenge for every single companies, especially electric plants, to avoid to switch off the entire world of the electricity. So we have to think in the longer run, longer perspective. I know, for the young people, this, why I have to think about the long run? I have tomorrow the very nice party. I have very nice plan for a holiday. So this is my life. But the aspiration, long run, and the communication and the connection between the young generation can build something as additionally for the future. And everything depends on you. Not only from your hands, but everything is in your head. We are thinking about the next challenge in technology right now. The internet was the one point. Now we are thinking what will be the next step? What will be the big challenge for the future? And what technology will be the main thing of the world? What type of challenges we have in our world? Water, the new energy sources like hydrogen, and the carbon. Everybody has focused how to reduce carbon in the world. Can you imagine that carbon is everywhere? Our clothes, our food, everywhere. Even we use the specific type of carbon to calculate how old was dinosaur, for instance, and the others. Carbon, water, and the main, these three assets, it is cornerstone for our life. Why we want to focus on these three very important assets? Water. How many lands is globally comparing to the water? 29% it is land, the rest is water. But how many this water we can use as a sweet water for our life? For 8 billion people around the world. Only 1%. Only 1% of water globally. It is water that we can use for our life. It is a huge challenge and it's huge responsibility how we will use this water. What is the retention and the other techniques that we can use to use the same water many times. Maybe you remember the movie, I think only about the old movies. I'm really so sorry for that. Mad Max. The Mad Max was the movie about the fights between troops about petrol, fuel. Now, it is nowadays, we can observe the fighting between people in Bolivia, for instance, about water. And if we don't find the good and the better solution how to manage water for people, it won't be possible to survive. Even the fantastic ideas disappear without water. The hydrogen, it is the fuel of the future. You probably hear in many, many places, everybody are talking right now about the hydrogen. But it is the future of energy, especially if we are thinking about the green energy, renewable sources of energy. And the hydrogen is the new source of energy. How we use this, how we can thinking about the new technology which can help us to use the hydrogen, it will be better for our life. It will be easier to survive and maybe even combine the water and new sources of energy like hydrogen can help us to use water by using the engine based on hydrogen. And the third, carbon. In Poland we have the same word using węgiel we use for coal and carbon. So in many places when we start to talk about the carbon, coal, węgiel in Polish language, part of people are afraid, why you organize this type of conference about coal? We have to reduce coal, we have to reduce carbon, low emission, and so on, so on. No, because we don't want to burn coal. We don't want to burn coal, węgiel in our stove. We want to use carbon, new technology for the future. Carbon fibers, which are much more advanced than the metals and the others. The big construction can be built using the carbon fibers. The amorphic carbon, using for the filters and the others to clean water and air, using carbon. And also how we can build the nanostructure like graphene to build a pack from carbon, graphite, and put there hydrogen. So these three assets, very important, existing in our world. It is something what we treat as a future, and only through the cooperation widely, our scientists, our businesses, and also the public sector, it will be possible to achieve and develop these ideas, how the water, hydrogen, and carbon can cooperate together. And you know what is important nowadays? How you, as a young generation, can use your smartness, your accumulated IQ to develop these ideas and take us as an older generation for the fantastic journey to the future. Thank you very much.